This is a 1946, 1947 Bendix radio chassis model 562. Bendix model 562 AM All-American 5-tube radio. This has been recapped. So the recapper told me, which it looks like some things have been recapped. But he said that there was poor performance. So let's see what happens here. I think poor performance is an understatement. A wattage is 22 and the power factor is 0.98, 0.97. That almost indicates just a pure filament resistive load, like there's no rectifier working. And I don't know what this is. I guess this probably goes to the pilot light, but I don't like this floating around like that, because if this touches ground it could blow the rectifier out. I don't think I've ever used the tube tester to test the tube out of a All-American 5, but here we go. Looks good to me. Looks like there's some modifications done in here compared to the schematic, because on the schematic it comes right out into a 2.2K, and one of them goes directly, so it comes out of here into 1.5K, and then we have a, was that 20K, red, black, orange. So something, let me look at this some more. Okay, this right here, 224 is 0.22, and the schematic shows that as a 0.01. This looks to be, boy, this is confusing. This would be a good test. Okay, this wire here goes to the audio output transformer, and then that's the red wire, and then the blue wire here goes to the plate, which has this massively oversized capacitor going to the cathode. And this looks like it's getting its power through this 20K resistor. Okay, that resistor is measuring 200 ohms. So that would, I guess that's red, black, brown. I guess that's brown, not orange. That's probably okay. It's a slight modification to the circuit, but what value is this? Okay, let's do some DC voltage checks. I'm on ground here. I believe the chassis is isolated from ground. Output of the rectifier, about 125 volts. Let's skip over to this 200 ohm resistor, about the same, 125 volts. Let's go over to this 1.5K. We're a little bit lower. We'll drop to the 100 volt scale, so we're about 79 volts there, 78 volts. That seems a little low. That is a little warm, but that shouldn't make it totally quiet. Let's go over here, old school technology, to Ooh, that's not a good thing. Open audio output transformer. Crap. So we have voltage. Let me just double check that. Here's the red. Here's the red going into the audio output transformer, right here, red. We have our 125 volts, then this green, or blue, I'm sorry, which is the plate. We have nothing. So we have an open audio output transformer. That is not a good look. Wow. And there's no heat or no drop across this resistor, so it's not a short there. So how is he saying he heard anything? Alright, we should be able to just parallel right across this for testing purposes. So we have, this is an audio output transformer out of a Sylvania TV. So we'll take blue to blue. And this capacitor has to go. And then we'll take red to red. Ooh, that almost seems like there's a hell of a lot of current draw through that.
They have to wear a mask when they come in. Use a special mouth rinse and wash their hands. Everybody's spread apart in different rooms. The staff is well trained and we are taking extra precautions. In the past, we were always practicing the highest standards of sterilization and infection control. If I used to wear a mask, now I'd put a shield on top of it. Put an extra gown on top of my scrubs, and then I would change those in between patients. So, and we're making sure that, you know, we have every protocol.
Please know that, folks. I mean, if you would see us right now, we are both wearing hazmat uniforms.
Suits.
I wish, and speaking through
homosexuality and religion.
All better. I know Clemson was kind of a disappointing running effort. What has to change to...
Okay, let's check our drop across this transformer. Okay, we have 100 volts on the plate. We have much higher than that on the B+.
To display a physicality, and so this is a mindset. You know, we've got to get off the football. We've got to have.
It kind of sounds muffled.
At the point of attack.
You know, and some of it could be that oversized capacitor, but it almost seems like maybe the tube is bad.
That won't take very long for Nick to make an adjustment, and it'll come down to moving guys against their own will.
Well, one last question, Coach. Alabama will score. We know that they're a scoring team. So when they score, and you guys could get down at some point, how important is it for your guys?
Okay, we have voltage on the control grid.
Interesting against them.
No doubt. And look, it's like anything else in life, right? I mean,
We have 2.5 volts on the control grid with a new capacitor. So that seems like the tube. Well, here, I'm going to yank the tube. If the voltage goes down, then it's the tube is leaky. And it does. So we got a bad tube here. This tube was probably damaged by the capacitor before it was changed. And then the tube being leaky damaged the audio output transformer that was in the set. That's why you don't want to run these things without changing at least the grid coupling capacitor, because it'll damage the tube and then the tube will smoke the audio output transformer. And I think this was a 50 L6. Yes.
Letty Brown is the man who you want the ball with. He gains 14 to move the chains. And his tight end, Mike O'Laughlin, lined up on the left side, came in motion and led right through that hole. Had a critical block that opened things up there for Letty Brown.
That's way too big. When it says .01, you can't use a .22.
Brown out to the left. Empty backfield, 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Throws to Letty Brown. Incomplete. These kids tend to be asymptomatic and many are...
Okay, I put a current meter, milliamp meter, in series with the audio output transformer. And you know, 30 milliamps doesn't seem high, but we have this voltage on the control grid that just keeps creeping up the hotter it gets. So I got another 50L6 here. Let's see what happens. Let's do a live tube swap. It's never a problem, contrary to the Jason JJ Cruz phone. We'll see if it's got to warm up. That should stay at 0. Ooh, it's going negative.
Telling them how they have to behave in their own home, their own property. And if you don't think that kicks a lot of Americans off, then this is craziness what we're doing. The crazy rules Gavin Newsom had for Thanksgiving, oh my goodness. You had to be outside, but outside was defined as you can have a roof and you can have 3 sides. So you can really be in your garage with the door up, but they call it outside. You can only be there for 2 hours. I mean, it was ridiculous. You can have only 3 households. So you and your family, your mom and dad and your brother's family could be there for Thanksgiving, but you and your mom and dad and your brother's family and your sister's family couldn't be there for Thanksgiving. This is just ridiculous, and Americans have had it with the crazy rules, especially the fact that these people make the crazy rules and then they don't follow it.
We'll continue with Jim Jordan. We'll ask what election forms are needed if we're going to have fair and elections with integrity that we can have confidence in.
So it's interesting. The tube is obviously has some grid emissions because, as you saw with this tube, we end up with 3 volts on the control grid that's backfeeding out of the tube. And that's usually due to a damaged tube, the tube being damaged because the capacitor was over-biasing it by leaking. But our plate current draw is not higher. The sensitivity is still kind of crappy. Let me tweak on the IF real quick. There's K Mozart. It used to be LA Oldies with the volume all the way up. It's all distorted and all right, well, it needs an IF alignment. I mean, the first one you turn the gain goes up 90 dB. You know that so we need to align this on the signal gen, which is not a problem. And I've noticed that these are often way further out of alignment than the other type when the other type are good. But we need to deal with this open transformer issue. That's the main problem right now, and the wrong capacitor.
15. Your next reports.
It's weird that grid leakage on the 50L6 doesn't start for about 5 to 8 minutes after you turn it on. It takes a long time before that shows up.
Down to the 40s and 50s. Got rain, mountain snow, and gusty winds coming in early next week with some storm systems moving through the state. Right now, 64 degrees in Riverside, 64 in Long Beach.
Interesting. After about a half an hour, it's starting to run away here.
Hospitals are mostly meant for an earthquake or an event like that to treat people with cuts, bruises, or minor injuries. The film industry ready to call a wrap on this disastrous 2020.
The hotter it gets, the more grid leakage there is on that tube. We know it's bad. I'm just curious. I'm gonna wait another 10 minutes and see where it goes. This is a new old stock Japanese audio output transformer for 35C5, 50C5, 50L6. I'm going to try and mount it in this open space right here to hide it. Just a note to anyone working on this stuff. When you install a new component, you need to make a solid mechanical connection. It's okay to J-hook stuff, but when you just lay things next to each other like this and solder them, it's not good. See how I've done this? See how I've actually wrapped this around here, and then I've poked it through, and I'm going to solder it. See, it's wrapped completely all the way around. So that's just a note. Don't just lay things next to each other and solder them together like you see on those 10-cent restore this videos. That's not the way you do it. Or rather those ones where they build things out of transistors in a roach clip. You know, you don't just wipe solder on something and touch the leads together and wipe the solder. You need a mechanical connection. Okay, so this right here, this is an example of how not to do this. There's the roach clip. See this? That is how not to solder things together. Okay? Yeah, rock it there, homie. See that? Wait. No. That's wrong. Put a damn twist in the wire and wrap it around, make a tight mechanical connection, and then solder it. This is wrong. Okay? Wrong. Yeah, you got 91,000 views and you're making $20,000 a month off YouTube, but no, this is wrong. This is not how you fix something like this. I'm also going to put some insulation here because this is just waiting to short out. Okay, I added Teflon insulation to this. I got this cleaned up. I got these all J-hooked. I got that dialed in. I got our new Japanese transformer installed here. I have, if you can see the green leads there, I have Teflon shielding on them. What I do is I get old oxygen sensors and I strip the Teflon tubing off the wire. I disconnected the red lead from B+ to our transformer that's burned out, and I just have it stuck into an unused per terminal strip eyelet. I have one lead of our old transformer disconnected. I have the two new green leads from the Japanese transformer connected to the original speaker. You can see down there the Teflon tubing so that if the varnish rubs through on the green wire, it doesn't short to the chassis. I fixed the lamp holder wire. Let's fire it up.
Cynthia is calling from Pasadena, California.
Fortalezcamos nuestra democracia. Súmate.
Mi nombre, JL66.
You kill someone.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate. Sistema. Konika.
La misericordia. Deseo derramarla sobre las almas. Y las almas
So what is this?
quieren creer en mi bondad. ¿Qué fue? And it is a
I actually don't know I don't know where the scale is.
Could you offer me this?
Word.
Yeah, I don't really know where the scale is. You'll have to slide this around. Well, let's get it in the house and align it. It's really freaking aggravating to try and align stuff in a hot signal environment. Damn, it is so sensitive now. Wow. That really woke it up.
Joe Biden actually won Georgia, and it shows that the registration numbers have changed really dramatically in the
Anderson, this is the last chance.
Solution starts in our faith in Christ. For
Black people have been dehumanized, brutalized, criminal.
I wonder where I'm at right there. Let me do this. See if I can figure out where I'm at. Frequency.
Para recibir el año y mira, vas a tener suerte, pero pues bueno, mi consejo te va a costar tanto. O sea, es interesante cómo muchas personas se aprovechan deliberadamente de la ignorancia de nuestros hermanos. Este tema, cuando me lo ha compartido Andrés,
So, yeah, we need to adjust that. We need to speed that up. So, I think that should be 1620. So let me do this.
Separación momentánea.
Let me take that up.
Digo momentánea porque para allá vamos todos.
And then that should be speeding it up, but okay, what did I do here? It's like an oscillator stalled out.
네, 정리를 다시 한번 해주시길 바랍니다.
네, 그 3,500불짜리 산삼이 한 파운드예요.
네.
포리수로는 40개에서
Okay, that looks like I'm on 1650.
굉장히 많아요. 소매값인데 이걸 사시는 분들한테는 오늘은 제가 금옥산을 5개,
네.
하나에 그 120불짜리입니다.
네.
그리고 산삼을 똑같은 크기
네.
5뿌리를 더 얹어드릴게요. 덤으로.
오, 3,500불 상당의 생산삼을 지금 첨부해 주시기로 하셨잖아요.
Okay, that's 1650.
그런 것이 지금 이제 3,500불 상당의 한 1파운드 정도 되는.
So if I take it all the way down, boy, now I got the damn oscillator trimmer, or the
방송 끝나시고 바로
see if I can wake the sensitivity back up now.
사이즈가 조금 더 커요, 이거보다.
네.
그러면 한 40뿌리 정도 되는데 35에서
Listen to that.
네.
무게는 한 파운드 똑같아요. 그러니까
What do they call that?
이걸 갖다가
That's the harmonizing with the radio station.
그리고 4,500불짜리 1,300불에
So if I zero beat that,
목단 5개하고
let's see.
똑같은 사이즈의 5뿌리를 더 얹어드릴게요.
Here,
네, 그러면 나 손에 많이 납니다.
아니, 그럴 것 같아 보이세요.
네, 그래서 이제 그 위에 사이즈, 여기까지는 1,300불에 드리고, 금옥산 5개하고,
Here I went to
드리고, 그 위에 이제, 여기는 여기도 10명만 해드릴게요.
네. 네.
그리고 이제 5,500불짜리가 있는데, 이거는 1,500불에 드려요.
네.
근데 여기는 5분밖에 못 드려요.
That seems to be about really close if you listen to it.
금옥단을 5개를 더 얹어드릴게요.
금옥단 5개. 네.
이거는 좀 상당히 워낙 커가지고 이걸 소리를 들릴 수가 없어요.
네.
그래서 금옥단을 갖다가 5개를 더 얹어드릴게요. 그리고
It's like I need to go add another digit to zero beat it.
알겠습니다.
But it's close. This thing is close.
지금 엄청난 가격
Assuming the radio station is perfect.
받아가실 수가 있는데요. 같은 산삼 뭐 5뿌리 추가로 얹은 데다가 금옥단
Okay, so I'm
5개를 추가로 받거나 또는 그냥 금옥단 5개를 추가로
금옥단 먹은 날
Okay, so
날아가요.
에너지가 막 생기는군요.
네, 그러니까 보통은 5개는
go down to
드려요.
550.
정신 집중이 잘 되니까.
Got this thing so screwed up now. Frequency 550 kilohertz. No, not 550 megahertz, 550 kilohertz. So that's pretty close. I got it pretty close. I mean, I could probably move that down a little tiny bit, but fortunately, this doesn't have an oscillator coil adjustment. So let's do this. Go back up here.
Necesitamos. Oye, más llamadas.
Is the concert master and the
Sounds good. Sounds clean.
With God's
And they all had bank names on them. It didn't build a large
artists because they are absolutely amazing. You know that mutation in South Africa
Con el tiempo.
is preventable with the vaccines. Now, in the country and whatever you do to celebrate, I hope you have a safe and happy New Year's Eve.
I didn't mention.
What is concerning is they are more trendy.
I mentioned the Kobe Bryant. I mentioned the Baby J. And then look over Browner's right shoulder. Put the camera back on Big Brown for a minute.
To keep up with
Last week, Bill Hagan at 1090. Heard of
열분요.
It's all a compromise, you know. I got it pretty good. Don't screw with it. Move this to align the pointer with the dial. Move this on slide this on the string. Don't adjust anything I'm screwing with. Okay, I'm happy with this.
Happy to have everybody along.
That's the mighty 1090 between KNX and Radio Disney. Radio Disney's going away this year. Let's have one more listen to it.
Feels so good. Feels so good.
It's a hot radio. This tube is still bad. This 50L6. Or is this it over here? I forget. No, it's got to be this one. Needs to be replaced. It's leaky. See that red X? That means it's bad. Needs to be changed.